reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMOReporter Network.
Choose your weapon with Doghouse Systems. Custom-built PC delivered to your door. Amazing quality, great options, and outstanding service. When you want a desktop or laptop that will be the envy of your guild, kinship, or corporation, then our friends at Doghouse Systems are where you want to go. If you're looking for a new PC, then check out doghousesystems.com and use the coupon code MMOReporter to double your RAM.
Hello and welcome to episode 11 of ESO Reporter Podcast, Greenland's #1 transatlantic source of information on the Elder Scrolls Online. Today is July 30th, exactly 1 month since we last joined you, and got lots on tap today. We'll try to make it nice and short and sweet. Let's start off by doing little intros, and today with me from the smaller island across the ocean is Go-Go Gadget Jen.
Hello. I don't think it's smaller than Greenland, but okay.
I don't think it's smaller than Ireland either. Or the Isle of Wight, the Isle of Man, or Anglesey, or any of the Hebrides, Isle of Skye. There's a couple more up there, and I forget what their names are.
Jersey Islands.
Never mind.
Jersey Shore.
I'm from America. I don't know geography. Is that what it is?
I thought for a second you were going to... I don't know geology.
I almost was.
Geology's what left after the Americans get to a given point of geography.
Let's not make this, right.
Oh, it's fun.
Used to be the British.
How have you been, Jen?
Oh, are you talking to me? I'm fine.
Well,
I am sorry.
To me?
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? Yeah, I want to apologize for not being able to do it the last week. What was it? We meant to do it 2 weeks ago, but we had a really awful storm here.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
A week ago.
Bit creepy.
Work decided to pull me away, so that was my fault last week. So, well, we have a lot of that stuff going on. So anyway, we are back.
Because I'm awesome.
Yes, you are. But you're not up yet.
No, it's not your turn. How are you, Sven? Let's ignore him. How are you, Sven?
Oh, me? Yeah, great. It's summer. I can't be anything but great. It's beautiful. A lot of time outside. Not a lot of time playing, but I have gained a couple levels since we last talked. So I'm at whopping 35, and can't seem to get out of the desert. I'm starting to kind of feel a little bit of the drag through there. So hopefully that'll get through. But otherwise, I'm doing well. I hear somebody hit veteran level. Is that right, Jen?
Myself and Mr. T.
Yeah.
We both hit veteran level over the weekend. Yay, finally.
Right.
Am I allowed to talk now?
Yeah, go on.
Almost, Tip. Almost. Just wait. Right. Almost.
No, it was great. It was great.
I just had to do that.
And exciting. And we kind of had to force solo because, he's a bit of a party killer. So it was like, no, we're going to get there. We got to get to veteran level 1. But we managed. Good. I can't believe it. We're doing an ESO podcast and we only just got to veteran level 1. But hell.
You know what? We treat the podcast the same way we treat our gaming. When there's time, we play. When there's time, we podcast. So that's how it goes. We have lives.
Yes, real life
right.
comes first.
Well, good to hear you're doing well. And along with us again today is the chap of Synapse, Mr. Teppo Fantastic.
Teppo Fantastic.
Teppo Fantastic.
Teppo Fantastic. Fantastique.
Yeah, how you doing, Tep?
Yeah, I'm right.
Good.
Good. Finally here.
Yeah. Well,
people.
You were here the whole time. We're the ones that were.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's my fault. It's
Just sitting here waiting for weeks. not been able to move.
They
said they'd be here.
Did Sven say again?
Again?
As in,
Why
let's
wouldn't he say
Teppo again, not again, as you'd expect an American to say.
Does it matter?
No.
Yeah.
I'm just a bit picky.
Back in your hole, troll.
It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that because there's another person we play with that constantly has me say words to test how I say them, because she has a tendency to think that I say them wrong.
Is this Monkey
But-
Girl?
Yeah, I believe so, yes. Teppo told me that I say one word, though, correctly, and that's aluminum.
You can't go wrong with aluminum
Right.
because it's both aluminum and aluminium. They're
yeah.
both absolutely correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
How's
One
life
of the few
been?
times that sense has prevailed internationally.
Yeah, well, there you
By
go.
just going, no, they're both fine. It's okay. It's cool. We know what you mean. It's fine. Let's just go.
Have you been doing much playing outside of your regular group, Teppo, or just that one night a week?
No, I don't have time. Damn it.
I know.
No, so yeah, I hit veteran slightly before Jen hit veteran. So,
Yeah, like, I don't know, like a couple of minutes before.
I'm still sore about losing half a level's XP back in what was it? Oh god, it must have been the second zone in or second or third.
Yeah, because we were in Daggerfall, weren't we?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. XP.
Yeah.
And you were the only one to get affected by that, weren't you? I mean, group?
Yeah, it's shitty.
Yep. I kind of almost don't want to play now.
You don't want to play now.
Yeah, I kind of really almost don't want to play my main now.
Why?
Oh.
Because they've got so many changes coming up with regards to veteran ranks and how you gain experience. It's almost, if we continue to gain experience now, we're going to be really doing ourselves a disservice in terms of relative gains and experience and things like that.
What about my weekend gaming?
I know. I want to play, but also it almost feels like a bad idea.
Well, Sven hasn't played in a long time, the Khajiit, so, if I have some time, we could always go back to those guys. Back in
Of
Eldamar.
course, that would be good, actually. Why is Sven referring to himself in the third person?
Because he's a Khajiit.
And it's true.
And he has 12 nipples.
14, I had 2 extra.
And fur between his... Anyway. He is.
Well, good. I'm glad we got back together. Again, we're going to try to do this bi-weekly, everyone, but you know what? Stuff happens. So glad you could join us again, and we'll try to get moving here with the first part of our material here on what's going on within the game. And before we go into the news, let's talk about a couple patch updates. Not, we don't have to go through every point, but 1.2.5 came out, 1.2.6 came out, and the lag got fixed a day after we ranted about it last podcast.
Oh my god.
So, anything in these last 2 patches that you guys saw that or have played in that jump out at you worth mentioning?
Well, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say the main thing for me that came out of it was the phase 1 of the veteran rank changes.
Yeah.
I think that was the doozy. So it was mostly just making it a bit easier.
How did they? Do you know how they did it? I mean, making it easier? Did they just mobs easier?
They've lowered the difficulty to second and third alliance zones to bring them more in line to zones from 1 to 50. I don't think they touched any of the other veteran actual content, veteran dungeons and Cracklawn and stuff. It was just the overland alliance areas. It was a bit of a chunk. So I had no idea how veteran points and stuff worked before, but it looks like you get XP from quest completion, but not from kills.
You were telling me that. That's right.
Yeah, so that's what it looked like in the brief couple of minutes I've had since hitting veteran rank 1, where basically we all leveled up and then went and handed in some quests in Cold Harbor because we still haven't finished the main series, the main thing through the first alliance zone.
And then we called it a night, didn't we?
Yes, I noticed we got the XP for completing the quest, but I didn't seem to get any XP for any kills. Whether that's because they're sub-veteran rank, maybe if I was killing a veteran rank 1 through whatever mod, I'd get XP for that.
Maybe.
I don't know. There may be like a hard cut-off line there, or if that's just part of the issue, is you only get XP for. I know you only get, in the little in-game mail they send you, only get you're only supposed to get veteran points for very specific things, like doing veteran dungeons and Cracklawn and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's a bit of a mystery to me at the moment. But it's phase 1. I don't know when phase 2 is coming in. Presumably this summer, I think they've said in another post elsewhere. So that'll be getting rid of veteran points and replacing it with normal XP, I think.
Okay.
And then phase 3, which we don't know when that's going to come at all, will be the new champion system.
Which should be interesting. We know nothing about that, do we, really?
Other than they've said it's going to be about customization and stuff like that, but no real details there.
Nothing more, really.
I did hear something talking about similarities between that and EverQuest 2.
The alternative alliance advancement system.
Mm.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't be so bad. I kind of like that, actually.
Yeah, so I think I vaguely recall seeing something about you'd have champion points. You'd only be able to earn champion points above once you're above level 50, and the system is account-wide in terms of when you gain the points, they go into an account-wide pool. Once you spend them, they're locked down to that character you spend them on, and they might do things like sort of passively increase your block chance by 1% per point and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, that was the barest sort of thing that came out of the whole QuakeCon thing, which I think we'll talk about later.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw something in the updates that looked interesting related to werewolves. The Silver Bolts thing, I didn't realize it was proccing 100% of the time against werewolves.
Yeah, but not against vampires.
Yeah. Okay, so that's fixed.
Silver's not vampires. You need wooden stakes of vampires.
You should, but that ability should work against demons and vampires and undead. It says so. It says so. And I hate vampires. Vampires can go rot.
Well, I was kind of okay with it proccing 100% on werewolves even, because we have to spend an extra freaking point to make it work on werewolves to begin with, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
It only works on undead and Daedra as standard.
Oh, that is true, actually.
So,
yeah.
if we're going to have to spend a point on making it work on werewolves, damn well better work better.
Yeah. Worth that
Yeah,
extra.
but equally, coming from someone who is a werewolf, if they didn't make the class so stupid...
Well, that's a separate issue entirely. We're just talking about the ability here. The whole werewolf thing is foobar.
Daft. Absolutely daft.
Stupid. But, yeah. Silver bolts should murder.
Have you guys been in? The 1.2.6 came out on the 21st, which is a little bit more than a week ago. Have you been in Cyrodiil at all? Because I noticed too. They said, well, I asked it because it says it's not going to crash now during combat.
Okay, all right. Now we have a theory.
Okay.
Now our theory is, because I was talking to Troll about this. Our theory is, or his theory, primarily he came up with it, is that I was going, there's so many different people here, and what the hell's going on, and why do these people have maximum rank scores and stuff? And he said what he thinks has happened is because there's still lag. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's still noticeable lag. So what he believes is that loads of people in North America have been going on to the European servers where they don't have a lag, which means the people who are in Europe are actually suffering because they're not getting as many points and they're not killing as many people. I mean, yesterday I must have attacked someone about 4 times and they just ran away, and I was like, what? There is still lag in there. It's really annoying. But hopefully that will all be settled once this migration finishes, which should be finishing in about 15 minutes or something. It's done, is it? I thought it was 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it was.
All right, okay.
But it's done.
Okay.
It's on the website. They're done.
Fair enough. Okay. I've been told. Yeah. So it was meant to be 10, but yeah, it was a midge,
Yeah.
It's a midge.
It's
That's
a midge.
What it is. It's a flying fudge.
It's a pain in the arse.
Yeah, I still refuse to go back into Cyrodiil for the moment.
Yeah.
For the time being. One more for them, because those American players can't move their characters from European to US servers. There's no server transfer.
Yes.
So now they're going to be on the bad end of the lag, if that's true.
Yes.
Apart from the fact that the servers have been moved to Germany, so we're all going to be on the bad end of the lag. It's just a trend I've noticed in other games which have had a US megaserver and a European megaserver or collection of servers. Whenever they put them in Germany, they've not been brilliant.
Yeah, it is true. Because wasn't it? Was it recently?
Any SOE game.
Was it Lotro?
Yeah. Lotro have had some issues in the past. So I think they ironed it out. But also SOE games in particular also pretty bad. But they've all had, I don't know what it is about Germany. I think they have fairly poor internet infrastructure.
What they need is to put it in England.
They're a big country.
Well, no, wait. The solution is simple. It has to come. It has to come to us here in Greenland. we're perfectly between the two.
The solution is even simpler than that. Just what we need is massive fiber bundles out to sort of data centers on old oil rigs in the middle of the North Sea.
Yeah, because I want to be in one of those. I want to be on one of those oil rigs in the North Sea.
Mm-mm.
Well, why would you have to be on one?
I'm not saying you would. I'm making a joke.
I think she.
It's not funny.
I think she needs to be tipped.
Bloody hell.
I think we need to stick her out there on her own with a whole load of comedy DVDs.
I would be fine. I would be fine. I would be quite happy and content. Probably get a bit bored, but I would be content.
You just have to watch more comedy until you learn how to make people laugh.
Oh, boy. All right. So that was the patch update. If you want more information, check out our show notes, and you can go through the excitement that is the patch notes.
Sitting on a boat in the middle of the North Sea.
On a boat, a rig.
We'll be back.
Boats backwards and forwards and left.
We'll be back with news. Hello again. We're back with the news section after that.
That was not a big break, but that's okay.
It was big enough, I think. Let's hope.
That's what she said.
Oh, yeah.
No. Oh, man.
Family show.
So we have server migration. You guys already talked about that. That's our first item. And
well, by the time you guys get this, I mean, it'd be like, I don't know, 3 weeks from now. So I mean, God,
1 week. 1 damn week. That's a little big.
Sorry, 1 week.
So you migrated. I hope it went well.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
The next item is kind of interesting in terms of subscribers. Now, I don't know how current this information is, but there was an article that what was the name of the company that did this survey in terms of the subscriber amounts of
Superdata.
Superdata?
Mm-hmm.
Superdata!
And they did actually, it was more regarding the 2013 population, I think, and there was just some side notes of what other games have come out and released their numbers. But talking about MMO populations, and I believe they said that ESO is, at their time of study, was 770,000. Does that sound right, guys?
Yeah, 772,000 subscribers for TSO in June this year.
Yes.
In June. Wow.
Yes, June.
So it released April 1?
Yeah.
So
it's
plenty
quite
after.
good going. Yeah.
Yeah, so two months after. So it's still in that half, still in that peak, or just the wrong side of it.
Yeah.
So it's possible it will come down dramatically over the next month or two, following the usual peak and tail of MMOs over the past decade.
I did notice. Sorry, Tap. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I just hope it doesn't.
Yeah, me neither.
Although
we probably have all 770,000 on the EU server.
Wow. I noticed that when Steam, and I know we're talking about that in the next segue here, the next item, Steam released ESO for a sale for $29.99. It appeared that and the only way you could tell population because of these shards or whatever you want to call them, is by the PvP area. It seemed like more of the PvP zones were better populated after that sale went on. So there might be some new population that came in, and they did it at good timing once they had that real nasty lag corrected there in PvP.
Yeah.
So, do you feel like the population is still solid, guys?
Oh, well, it's most definitely solid in PvP.
I've hardly seen anyone in PvE.
Well, yeah,
Really?
I mean, we haven't seen many people in PvE, to be honest, but we're
down to one or two during the day on Saturday in solo dungeons where you would expect to meet as many people as you're going to meet.
Yeah.
We usually see 1 or 2 people in there now, as opposed to back when we were in sort of the 30s and we were seeing like 12 or 15.
Right.
It could be we're between bubbles.
Yes.
Yep.
Or just fallen behind so far. So it's hard to judge.
Really good observation, Teppo, because I went back to, what's that place next to the starting zone that you have to go back to do the main quest?
The Harborage.
Yeah.
The Harborage. And when I went to the Harborage,
yeah.
and I ran back into the town there on Daggerfall. What's the first town?
It's
west, north of Number. Whatever the very first town is when you start. There was
I can't remember.
Yeah,
it was
I can't remember the
flooded.
name.
It was flooded with people, and that was, I think I played on it was a weekend evening. In any event, so that was good. But I think you're right. I think you're actually exactly right about being between bubbles.
Yeah, because to be fair, I mean, if you look at Shornhelm, which is everyone's favorite place to go, I mean, it's a massive hub. There's loads of people there. I mean, I go into the bank and the whole thing is still full. So it might be that we are between levels there, I think.
Not seen any bots in a while.
No, it's been good.
Right, good point.
Even though whenever we see another person, she's like, "Is that a bot? Shall I report it?" No,
it's because but it's because of my vigilance. There are far less bots now. Although I was starting to get suspicious that they might think that I'm some type of loony bot myself.
As many stat points you put into vigilance or perception, I honestly think is less than a drop in the ocean compared to the efforts put in for those bots.
Oh man!
But yeah,
to see Jen in Salem back in America, it would be very
just fire in her eyes.
Oh yeah, well, no, I would have been totally put to death. So
no.
Oh, you mean on the Inquisition side? Oh yeah. Yeah.
She'd be so good, they would burn her as a witch anyway.
Yeah, they would be like, how do you know this? You must be delving into divination magic. But yeah, I got crystal ball, and then they burn me. Well, actually, hang me, but you know.
Yes. Well, a little of everything, I think. Probably both.
Or crush me with boulders.
Yeah.
Drown you. Stab you. Poison you.
He's liking that, isn't he? You can just see the glee in his eyes.
No.
So it's been almost a month now, but the next story, I'm just going to skip past the Steam thing because we talked a little bit. Unless you have anything.
No.
I'm not going to skip it. Not going to skip.
No, let's skip past the freaking Steam thing because, as an added bonus, if you purchase the Imperial Edition during the sale, you'll receive a loyal Wolfhound Vanity Pet to accompany your game. Where's our Vanity Pet? Those who already bought the Imperial Edition at full price, no less.
I want a wolf. Gosh darn it! Although it's
exactly.
I want it.
It's pretty ugly.
It is.
I mean,
but...
I think you'd have to call that Wolfhound Oberon. I think that's the only name that would fit. But that's from the Kevin Hearn Iron Druid novels. If anyone's wondering about the reference. But yeah, no, seriously, come on. Not only is it going to see an immediate massive discount, which is fine. What Steam sales are a thing. They work tremendously well for generating revenue and getting extra players into games. But then throwing in a bet, which then people who already have the Imperial Edition can't get.
Yeah, it's not fair, is it?
That is not
Life
fair.
is not fair, you guys.
Well,
gosh darn it, it should be.
Life.
Screw it, I want that bloody dog.
I don't want the bloody.
Well, I want the dog.
You already are a dog, Jen. Werewolf.
Oh.
That means something else in the UK.
Oh, sorry.
It means something else in the States as well, and he knows it.
See, if you're going to call her that, you have to call her a dog.
Dog.
Oh, oh, sorry.
D-A-W-G.
Yep.
GGG.
But yes, I am a doggy. I'm a werewolf.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so next, can I move now, Teppo, or do we have any other things?
No, gosh darn it! You need to stay right there. Just sit there. Be quiet. For
so about a month ago, they talked about the road
listen to
ahead.
me, does he?
Just doesn't listen to you. I think we stop when I asked.
All right, Jen, what would you like to talk about?
Don't worry, nothing.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Just want to talk about anti-fleet shampoo.
I honestly really don't want to talk about anything. I was only joking. So, carry on.
She's just not funny.
I am just not funny.
Let's talk about armor dies and the road ahead.
Yay, die!
Yeah.
Farmer.
Okay, so I'm all for a little bit of dying on the armor dying, but purple and blue. I'm looking at some of the pictures on the.
Oh yeah, some of that's bad.
Oh, it's terrible. It reminds me. I played Dark Age of Camelot, right? And I kind of like, but when you could dye your own stuff, it was garish. It was awful.
Because some people have really bad taste.
Terrible. We have Wonder Woman on one of the pictures. Did you see that?
No, do we?
Okay, so if you look at
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I see that. Yep.
Yeah, I don't want Wonder Woman and yes.
Well, we have Iron Man as well, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Well, Iron Woman.
Yeah.
Who's got a really skinny waist and really big breasts.
Yeah.
Boobs.
Since that was first talked about, actually ESO Fashion have gone because the I think that update is on the PTS now.
Okay.
ESO Fashion have gone and sort of made a massive list of all the different armor dyes
Yeah.
and how you get them because you have to unlock some of them through like achievements and things. And they've also talked a bit about the dye station sort of mechanic. Which I don't really understand. It has all kinds of tools. So you have like a paintbrush to apply color to a single color block. I don't understand what justifies a block or also. Oh, I think you have primary, secondary, and tertiary.
Yeah. Well, who else had that? Was it? Most games have that, don't they? Primary, secondary.
Yeah, primary and secondary. Well, what was that in? I think it was in Guild Wars 2.
Yes, there was also another game that had it as well, and I can't remember. Was it? No, it wasn't Lotra. Was it? I can't remember. It was the game I played. Oh, WoW, I think. I think it was WoW.
Okay.
I don't.
Don't know. Anyway, yeah. So the ESO Fashion website have got a little bit more in-depth stuff with slightly less garish colours.
Yeah, these are rubbish.
A lot of colours to choose from. There's a lot of colours to choose from.
But let's face it, they are obviously going for the Avengers here, aren't they? I mean, you've got Hawkeye, you've got... Although, on the right... I mean, you've got, like, I don't know, Poison Ivy down there on the lower right-hand corner. And then some really bad-looking elf.
Oh.
Captain America, or Captain Britain, or whatever.
It's Captain America.
It's terrible.
It is. It's awful. Absolutely.
Because I think the armors. This is one thing that I'm going to describe. I actually like the armors and the colors that just are in the game the way they are. I think it's a waste of time. But I know I'm going to have enemies on that. I just think it's a waste of time.
You're 100% wrong.
My opinion. Okay.
It is his opinion, to be fair, but
it'd still be wrong.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that people can choose the colors they want because a lot of people have really bad taste. And that's
everyone's going to be black.
Just close your eyes and nuke them harder. I mean, come on. But the fact of the matter is, we need a dye system because we end up with ridiculous things where we have a really good looking piece of armor that's freaking lilac or something stupid like that.
Teppo has had personal experience with lilac, and for his sake. I want people to have the opportunity to be able to change that color because it's hideous.
Have you seen my harpy feathers yet?
No.
See you shake your harpy.
I've got harpy feathers.
I just spotted one of the dye colors here in the list. It's called Liar's Linen, and you get it for achievement. It's rare. You get it for achievement for tracking the movements of Make the Liar across Tamriel and beyond.
That's pretty cool.
He must be in like every zone or something. I think if you tag him in every zone, you must be able to get that. That's my new next achievement. I think.
Someone's the only zone he's not in is Cold Harbor yet.
They said Tamriel and beyond. It suggests he's in Cold Harbor.
Yeah, but from what I hear, he's not. But I mean, they could be wrong.
Pretty sure he's in there somewhere. Must be. I'm gonna find out later.
Okay.
I'm gonna go track him down. Skin him.
Anything else in the road ahead that's interesting other than dyes?
Like a sack.
Veteran ranks?
Yes. Yeah, they're talking about the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, which we've largely covered.
Yeah.
Talk about guild enhancements. Just to improve sort of general guild management stuff and trading and heraldry. So we'll have tabards.
Looking forward to heraldry.
Yep. Well, you say that. I'm the guild leader, so I'll be designing it.
No, you won't.
Yeah, you will.
Let me design it.
No.
Yeah, why
do you know
not?
why? Do you know why you're not allowed to design it? is you come up with some of the worst flowery guild names in existence. You're not allowed to do the heraldry.
I'm really good at heraldry. I'm actually quite offended at that because I'm actually really good at it.
No, I'm sorry.
I
I can't trust it.
I
Born and
refuse to have
die
you do
up
that.
here.
That's not fair.
You don't get a choice on the guild leader.
That is not fair. You're such a jerk.
You can always start your own guild, Jen.
I am.
You've got a couple of extra
And I will
slots.
because I've made the best WoW tabard. It is awesome.
Jen, you could do
You could do the ESO reporter.
That's
guild.
right.
No.
You could do the ESO reporter one.
There's no
It's
one in
all
the ESO
yours.
reporter guild.
Don't say that, Trish. Trish isn't there.
That is rude.
Trish is awesome.
He
Yes.
is awesome. He's like one of the only people in that guild.
Yeah, it's because you never talk to anyone in it.
Huh? Well, you don't either.
Yeah, I do. If there's someone online, I say hello.
Yeah. Okay,
Well-
so Tep, what are you thinking of? You know
Well,
what?
I have no idea. We'll see what happens in the system. I imagine stuff will be locked behind achievements or numbers or something like that, so we'll see what happens.
I do hope.
But, if we can make something vaguely phallic, that'll be good.
See, this is why I don't want him doing it. It's going to
On a
be
pink
really
background?
stupid. He's going to have like something like a cupcake with a freaking candle in it. And
Hey,
I'm not going to do that.
cupcakes.
And taxes.
That is not happening.
Cupcakes
It's
are
not happening.
fantastic.
The guild is called Innuendo Moratorium. It's hardly going to be the most serious. Look, there's a cock there. There's
What?
a cock right there. I can see it on the page. There's a
Oh,
cock.
yeah, there is. I
It's
see
like
it
a
too.
rooster, yeah?
Yeah. What else did you think I was talking about? It's right there. Next to the pointy dragon.
Oh,
So,
Oh my god, apply changes 4,000 gold?
of course.
Yeah, we're never going to end up getting any heraldry. Look at that. Style is 1,000 gold.
Oh, I got that just lying around with that whole PvP
well,
bonus.
guess who will have that much money?
And yet, won't
PvPers.
have the money, but you won't have the rights. You got no rights here, girl.
You're really mean to me. I'm leaving your guild. When these heraldry things start, I'm
You're
leaving.
not going to leave the
I'm
guild
leaving,
listeners?
because the trolls
and
are
I'm going
around.
to start my own guild.
Your
Okay.
new best friends, the trolls, are here. You're never.
Pink Monkey and I are going to start our own guild, and we're going to make our own tab art. It's going to be awesome. That's going to
All,
be fun.
all 5 listeners, you can make the choice. Join
No,
us.
you cannot. Damn
You
it.
join us on ESO Reporter, and Jen can make the guild tabard. Or join us on Innuendo Moratorium, and Tep can make the guild tabard. No, it all looks good. I think it's going to be
No,
interesting. I think it's not. I think it's a good system. I think it's going to be good. For the
Well,
game.
What we'll do is we'll put some designs together. Jen and I'll make 2 each, and then we'll put them on. See if we can put them on the site on some kind of poll.
Mhm.
Not you who made each.
We can do that, yeah.
Yeah, and then you can vote,
Mhm.
and then we'll see which one we have.
I think
I
that's a
am a
great.
lot cuter than Teppo, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, moving on.
She also can't count.
What? Okay. Let's see. Combat. What are they doing with combat?
Stabbing people with a pointy end, mostly.
More fun and visceral. Oh,
Yeah, I'm not sure how you
multi-pronged.
can make it visceral.
It's multi-pronged effort.
Mm.
Anytime you have multiple prongs, it's a
2 in. Visceral.
What else is in here?
Well, it looks
Itemization.
like they're going to give survivability of werewolves and the balance between their strengths and weaknesses may receive some adjustments. Well, damn better. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. It sucks at the moment.
And they seem to be balancing all classes and things against the sorcerer.
Yeah.
Sorcerer never gets a pass, right?
They're really
they're
hard
looking
though,
into
aren't they?
Templars. They're looking into. Well, you say that. I think that's the measuring stick they want them to work against. So, regardless of whether you think they are OP or whatever now, they're obviously the standard they want the other classes to be at, because they're constantly looking at Templars and looking at Nightblades and looking at werewolves, and they've looked at Dragon Knights in the past. But sorcerers nary get a lick in, so they must be the right class to play.
Yeah, and the thing is, although I would have to say that I find that Dragon Knights are actually, especially in PvP, there's like so many of them, and they're really a bit OP because they do everything. So it'd be nice if every class had the opportunity to do as many varied things as the Dragon Knights can do, I think. Because they can heal, they can buff, they can do all these things. And I know other classes can, but they can do them to a different extent. I mean, they're so OP that you go into Cyrodiil, and you know how you get your kill 20 players. And then after you're done doing your kill 20 players, you can also kill 20 Templars. But I always get killed 20 Dragon Knights because I can kill them like in 15 minutes. I've got my 20 because there's so many of them in there. It's ridiculous. So hopefully they'll change that class and make it a bit more balanced. And I like the fact that they're going to make adjustments to Nightblades as well. Although I find my Nightblade okay. I think it's a matter of how you play it. And if you use your abilities the way you should be using them.
Are you using a bow by any chance?
I am.
That would be why.
But not just, actually. I do a lot of ambushes and other things as well. I also have medium armor, which I went from heavy armor to medium, and I find the medium much better. Which is surprising. Obviously, I don't stand up as for 5 seconds. Like my heavy armored, But it's really good. But I can dodge, I can get out, I still have stamina. So I guess it depends how you play it.
All right, so let's move on to, I think, probably the highlight of the news, which is the Quakecon panel, the future of ESO, and they had a really neat article on Dulfy.com, .net, yep. And they kind of give, and we've got this on the show notes, but they give a nice breakdown of all the different areas that they covered and the different people that actually hosted these different discussions. But why don't we just start off with the top and move down real quickly and talk about it? I think Imperial City was really interesting, the first item that came up. By the way, this link that we provided also has YouTube videos, which are really helpful as you're going through it. But so it's PvP stuff again? Sounds like?
Yep, looks like it.
Is that going to entice you in again, Tip, to PvP or not? Do you think?
So the problem I have with the Imperial City is it looks hard. It's like a thing that you have to be really dedicated, raw, hardcore, PvP person or part of a massive Zerg in order to get into. So it looks like a whole load of capturable territories inside the city, districts and things. You can do different things with. I think one of them has a special benches you can craft Daedric Imperial armor on. But the interesting thing about it, I thought, is the approaches. One of the approaches, I think, is through the sewers, and they cross paths. The different alliances approaches cross paths in the sewers.
That's pretty cool.
Going to hit enemy players before you even get there. I'm not sure how well that's going to work out.
Yeah.
Depends how big these sewers are. I mean, if they're big as the sewers are in Oblivion, then you could have a problem.
Yeah.
They're tiny.
It's like 2 rooms.
yeah, right. I was just thinking about just the size of the corridors and anything else. But looked. It's an interesting idea actually. Sort of a pseudo PVE zone inside PvP. They said there's repeatable PvE quests with high gold and XP rewards and stuff in there. I mean, if I could get in there with people, then yeah, I could have some fun. But I don't know. I haven't seen anybody really doing what are they called, dolmens in the PvP zone
No, you
either.
don't at all, do you? Because they're afraid they're going to get jumped.
This is my issue, yeah.
Which, to be fair, they do, because I've jumped a couple of people doing
Just saying, because those look like they would be epic.
Yeah, the thing is, the nice thing about the Imperial City is, though, at least it adds another dimension to the PvP zone, because the PvP zone is nice and it's big, but you pretty much do the same thing. So it's good that they're going to add a bit more variety.
Mm-hmm.
But then is it all going to be based around the Imperial City, which means that the other bits are going to be left? I think what they need to do, this will work great if they manage to run events in other places and different events every campaign, which would be nice.
What do you mean by events?
Because they do. I mean, if you look at, I think there's one server, I can't remember what it is, but they do like special kind of PvP events where you might have to capture one thing, or you might have to hold this many forts and that type of thing.
Oh, right, yeah, sure.
But it would be nice if they did that more on the normal PvP servers because in normal PvP arenas, because at the moment all you're basically doing is going in there and capturing the same old things over and over again.
Right.
And it can be a bit dull.
Fair enough. What else we got on here? Oh, we have... Oh, they're talking about grouping as well. Changes to grouping and veteran dungeons and stuff like that. They do need to do some work on grouping, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Looking for dungeon tool doesn't actually teleport you anywhere, which is annoying. And
we had hours of fun with that, didn't we? It's like, what? Okay,
like,
not hours, like 5 minutes going, what is this? What's the point?
I know, it's so silly. I mean, I'm glad they give you the option to, sort of teleport straight to dungeon entrance. Once you've found one, it also unlocks the other ones on that thing. But they're talking about game-wide audit to fix quests so players aren't separated so often. And they've both been phasing and in sort of turning in of objectives.
Yeah.
That's so annoying. That's become more of a problem as we've leveled up.
Well, yeah, because I think what's really annoying about it is it's not consistent. Because you do one quest, won't you, where you'll have to pick up, if one person picks up an item, of course it counts for everyone, but then you'll do others where you have to pick them up separately, and it's just a bit daft.
I think the silly thing is often quest conversations will trigger for everyone just as soon as one person finishes them, but you all have to pick up, 5 of a certain mushroom each.
Yeah,
you can't just share and whatever. It's just so silly.
Mushrooms.
Mushroom snake. Snake. Oh, it's a snake. Scaling. I like scaling. Snakes and scaling.
Mm.
See, that's the good segue. Scaling to group leader is also a nice stopgap measure for dungeons, but not the full kind of thing that I would like.
Yeah, but come on, do a mentoring system. System.
How hard can that be?
Difficult to do. If they're doing it to the point where you can actually, sync with your group leader,
They obviously have an algorithm for scaling stuff which they use in PvP. Why can't they use it in a mentoring system?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's because, it puts everyone up to 50th level, which is a bit easier, but still it shouldn't be that difficult to adjust it, surely.
I would hope not.
I would think the amount of subscribers they would have kept day one would have been immensely larger had they had scaling right from the get-go.
Oh, absolutely.
I always struggle with this one when new games come out. I wonder how much a part of a normal player, group I am, because I play mostly with groups. Is it truly that most MMO players play on their own for the most part now?
Maybe. In
which case, that could be why so many games don't launch with very well-developed grouping tools.
Surely do you think that? Surely that's not the case. I mean, but then I've always had friends, so
yeah. Yeah.
But and I enjoy playing games with friends. I'd rather play games with friends than by myself because I find it kind of dull by myself. So it might be also that people like myself go out seeking other people, but I don't know how many people don't do that. But it's daft. We'd have a lot more people, I think, joining in if there was a mentoring system, because now we've got friends that go, the 3 months is up. Now we're veteran levels, and it would be very, very difficult for them to catch up. Even if they really worked very hard to do it, it would take them months.
Well, I think in terms of friends and solo play and all that kind of stuff, I think that people do play with friends, but I think it's strictly guild based in this game almost entirely. I think there is a little bit of group finding, but what they I think anticipated from the outset was because of PvP and guilds and that kind of stuff. Did I say group based? Guild based.
No, you did say guild based, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
That I think it's still there still is a place for scaling. Absolutely. I think that but I think they felt that group finder tools really weren't going to be that important because the fact that I think people were separated and already chose to play together from the outset. But gosh, right now would be the perfect time, or when you have a sale on Steam or whatever, to get a good guild tool or group finding tool. Man, I'm messing up my terms. So that these newcomers can come in and meet people right off the get-go instead of trying to find a guild.
Absolutely. And you know what? I don't think you're not messing up your terms that much, because I also agree with the fact that there should be a guild finder. I mean, because SWOTOR did it. And I think it'd be really useful to have something like that, where you put in the parameters that you want and the guild puts in their parameters and you search for it. Because I find it really difficult to find a guild maybe I'm not looking in the right places, but I'm finding it really difficult to find another guild to join up in.
Yep.
I mean, I have just recently found one I'm tempted by, and I've applied, and I'm hoping other people will be interested. You guys will be interested in joining them as well. But it took me ages. It's like 4 months into the game, and no one has really advertised on the game. The game offers you no features.
No, could you remember? Did you play EverQuest 2, Jen?
No, I never did. No.
Oh, what an awesome guild finder tool they had.
Really?
I mean, I think it was, at least. Teppo, did you think so? Okay, he's away from a second. But anyway, yeah, fantastic guild finder tool that was just robust, where you could not only describe your guild in many different ways, from all the way to RP even, and how much you do, so low, medium, high, that kind of stuff. But also, what you were looking for in terms of levels and types of classes, play times, everything, and it was a button away.
Well, that's what you need, I mean,
I agree.
So, sorry, I kind of went on a bit of a tangent, didn't I? But because you were mentioning guilds and groups, it just seemed apt to go, well, actually, I think having a guild function in there as well would be really useful.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would like to know how big a issue Guild Finder is for other people. I found the best way to find a guild was play with people.
Yep.
And by doing pokes, I find my guilds that way rather than needing to search around and whatever.
Sure.
I find it easier to do that. At least you get on with at least 3 people.
Yeah,
in the guild
that's fair enough. But I mean, most of my time is spent. Well, I already have a group of people I enjoy playing with, so it's not a huge thing.
Right.
And to join another guild, I'd only join it because to have other people to play with when we get into the higher level content, we need like 12 people. And I'd rather play with people I know and I trust and I know aren't useless, because I've got a well-oiled team already that I enjoy playing with. So instead of just picking up random people. But other than that, I'm in PvP, and you only get a couple of people talking about PvP and guilds to join, and it's not really clear as to who they're looking for. They're looking for veterans, and you just go, well, that kind of leaves me out because I don't PvP with my veteran character. This is an issue as well. But yeah, I agree with you in that respect. I mean, if you're the type of person that groups up with people, it's much easier to find a guild that way.
I've done it both ways, honestly. The way Teppo describes, and also looking through the guild finder tools, and I've had moderate success both ways. So I just think there needs to be something out there this way. So, in my opinion, only.
But that's not in this next update.
No. I did. They talked about Craiglorn, and I know this is down the way a little bit on this step. But I was talking to Tep a few days back, and I haven't got to Craiglorn yet. His comments to me really intrigued me. The fact that he was extremely impressed with the area. And have you guys had similar, or Jen and others that you play with, similar experiences with Craiglorn? Do you like it? Not Craiglorn. Sorry, my bad.
Cold Harbor.
Cold Harbor.
Yeah.
Well, we've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. The thing I like about Cold Harbor is it's got quite a good premise for the story there. Without spoiling it too much. There's a city there, and there's a whole thing with the city and getting people in there and raising your forces and things like that for sort of an assault on Molag Bal. But it's an interesting zone. It's a lot different. The problem with going through the Daggerfall lands, I'm not sure what it's about the other ones. You end up seeing quite a lot of sand.
Oh God, I know.
There's a lot of dirt and sand.
And to be fair, it's kind of nice after the greenery, isn't it? Because it's a change of scenery, but you're just in it for like 20 levels.
When do you finally get out? Because I'm feeling that right now, guys.
Well, the problem is because you've got Alakir Desert, don't you?
Yeah.
And then you go on to Bankarai, which is fine. But then Bankarai also has a massive desert to the north. It's just like, oh, God, let me out, please, God.
The brown.
Yeah, is it North Bankarai or the south?
Oh, it might. Oh,
I think it's the
it
south
might be the
bank.
south or something. But it's annoying.
It's a stretch of
Yeah.
annoying, isn't it? But yeah, Cool Harbour's pretty good. All in, it's a pretty good zone.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun there.
Good.
Not quite as convenient in terms of amenities as Shornhelm, but Shornhelm has the teleporter, the blacksmith, and the bank right next to each other. It's not going to get better.
Yeah,
No,
Shornhelm's an amazing city, and I just have to go down the street. And even though the Enchanters Guild or whatever is not as central, I have to go is down a kind of a little small street, and it's there, so it's just really handy.
Convenient.
In terms of the future of ESO stuff, looking there is two other main things in there which I'm quite interested in. The first one was the justice system.
Yes, that looks cool.
Sage was talking about stealing and murder because that's what he's into.
But you had a problem with that as well, didn't you? Because I know.
Yes, so my issue is if they make a crap ton of crates and sacks and things around towns owned, so if you take from them your accruing crime essentially, and you could get arrested and have things confiscated or murdered. That's going to impact significantly, I think, on the resource gathering of provisioners like myself. There's a lot of containers out there in the world, and that's great, and get a lot of stuff. But considering you have there's no choice, it's purely random what you get. I think it's important to have as many sources for that food as possible.
Now's the time to load up before they make the change.
Yeah, but still, I have to agree with him there. I mean, I'm not a provisioner, but it's unfortunate if you decide for next character that's what you want to do, and if this system ruins it for people. Because you find loads of stuff in cities.
Yeah, not just leave everything at Warpath.
Yeah, absolutely. I found loads of recipes, loads of armor recipes and those types of things in just chests lying around cities. So, it might ruin those types of things. I like the idea. I think it sounds pretty cool, but I don't know. I can see your issue with it as well.
I think I'm just going to turn some kind of crime lord cook.
Just stealing those. That guy came in here again.
Stealing and murdering just so I can make another fortified venison pasty.
He stole my salt and my cake mix.
Man, we're talking Food Network material now here, Teppo. You can
I need that pepper. Wow.
Criminal chef. Let's see.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the good
Not
one.
Swedish.
That's what he needs. That needs to be a title. Criminal chef.
Yeah. The mobster chef. It's good stuff.
But yeah, spellcrafting was the other thing I'm particularly interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they haven't massively fleshed out what it's going to be or really said when it's going to come, but the idea that you go around, you collect these chunks of spells in terms of sort of spell components, if you like, in terms of the stone tablets around the world.
Yeah, I was going to say there's almost like etchings you get of tablets and stuff, aren't they?
Yeah, and then you sort of create a spell out of them using sort of components like base. So that might be, like a target spell or a damaging spell or whatever. Ultimate, whether it's going to be ult or not. Whether enduring, so whether it's a toggle or not. You can reduce the cost, AoE, splash or whatever. The fact you can use that and make, say, like chain lightning spells, or my particular favorite, one of the examples they gave is you put an enduring focus on a flame Atronach, it can make it a permanent pet, I presume, much like a Clamfear, the Twilight, whatever, matronach thingy, the fly jobby.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Winged Twilight, there we go. That'd be cool. I'd collect all the Atronachs.
Oh, it'd be great to have your Atronach pet following you around.
That'd be awesome. That would be awesome.
Hey, Bob, kill that dude for me.
That'd be great. I just have no attack spells. You'd
have like fire Atronach.
Yeah, and there's big ice ones, and what else we got? I don't know, what H-Notes do we have in the game other than the Storm, Ice, and Fire at the
I think
moment?
that's it, isn't
That's
it?
it.
That is it.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a shame.
What'd you think of Murkmire? I thought that was pretty cool. The new adventure zone.
Yes. That's aimed at an annoying level, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that like,
Yeah, that's going to be like Craglorn, and supports full player content in Overland and Delves, and has 12 player trials.
Yeah.
So it's Province of Blackmarsh. Could be cool.
Yeah, I like the look of it.
it's nice that they're adding all these things and they've got ideas for continuing on the game, so to speak.
Yeah.
And the legend, I just really want them to bring in Skyrim, but that probably won't be for a long while.
Well, Hrothgar, they're adding in Hrothgar, which is going to be a chunk of Sky. Well, it's between High Rock and Sky.
Oh, of course it is, yeah. It's going to be interesting.
That's going to be a PvE zone. Solo PvE, so I presume they mean PvE zone. PvE zones are aimed at 1 to 2 players. So the thing I mentioned to you the other day, Jen, when you were talking about respecing and stuff,
Yep.
One of the comments that they answered was that respec costs are too high.
Oh, God, yeah.
And one of the devs came back, I can't remember which one it was, Nick something or other, came back and said for the first week of update 3, when that comes out, whenever that is, they're going to make respecs extremely cheap, i.e. 100 gold, and after that they'll reduce the respec cost by 25%. They'll also add in respec for just your morphs. That is really cheap. They're looking at something around about 100 times cheaper
That's
than the full
excellent. No, thank you for that, because you saved me, I don't know, like 20,000 or something. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
You are good. You can be good.
You can pay for my tab art.
I can pay for your tab art. Yeah, I shouldn't have been so harsh. I'm sure you'll make a nice tab art.
Damn right.
Should we jump to Guild Crests, or should we skip that since we kind of talked
I think
about
we
it?
spoke about Guild Crests, haven't we?
We covered Guild Crests.
How about the stuff Guar?
Oh, it's so cute! Oh, God, I love it. Sorry. It's adorable.
So how do you get it? Is it just purchasable at the store?
Purchase the plushie at either the Gaming Head site or the Bethesda merchandise store.
Yeah.
And you'll get your in-game pet as well, I think.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Never be Guarless again.
No.
To Guar or not to Guar? That is the question.
They're so cute.
They are adorable.
All right, that's the news. We'll talk about a few other
we're
things.
done now.
Oh, well, the news. I didn't really want to go. Do you want to talk about the Guar more?
No, I guess not. I'm going to get one.
All right. There you go. We'll see you at the end of the break. All right, welcome back. So we have a presence at MMOReporter at PAX coming up in Seattle. I haven't heard a whole lot of details on this yet, but it is posted up on the MMOReporter site, including a way to help support the MMOReporter network. Temple or Jen, you know much more about this than I do at this, or not?
Sadly, I won't be going. It's too far away.
No.
It's way too far away.
I don't think I can get there either. So the plan is, as far as I am aware, if I can just find the email with the stuff and things in it, and I've just opened the wrong one. Yay! I opened the wrong email.
Well, I can say this while you're waiting, or looking for it, that if you would like to see us make PAX, or one of these events next time, there is a way to do that, listener.
You're going to be really cheeky, aren't you?
I am. You can donate, and I think that would go a long ways to helping to get us. Now, I'm sure there may be some event going on over there in England, which might be a little bit easier for Jen and Tep to reach, but also I know there's things in the States here too that are a little closer that wouldn't cost an arm and a leg, and if you donate, that will help. So if you go on the MMOReporter site, there's different buttons for a reoccurring subscription to help that happen. So there you go.
Well, I would direct them directly to patreon.com/MMOReporter. and the Patreon page we have there to help support the network. Indeed, I can see the goal for when the entire thing gets to $1,000 per month is take MMO Reporter on the road, and we'll have network attending PAX Primes and creating video and audio content from the stuff there.
Excellent. We
have some people out there anyway. I think they're going to be Let's see. They usually get some community people there and whatever, and generally have a good time. I'm just trying to find the name of the place. Elephant and Castle Pub. There you go.
Oh, cool.
Apparently, they usually get around about 50, 75 people. So I encourage people to go have a look. If you head also to MMOReporter.com/PAX, I think it is. So there's a comments page where they're sort of assembling and sorting out what they're going to do. And
I have to say, when they first said in the email, or it's first read Elephant and Castle, I was very excited. I was like, oh, that's not too... Oh.
Yeah, no.
Not that Elephant and Castle, not the proper Elephant and Castle, right.
Oh, that's good. I think, there's a lot of different games that the site represents and talks about and participates in, and gives an opportunity if you're a fan of quite a few of the different options that we provide. Defiance, Rift, Lotro, Guild Wars, WildStar, and us here at ESO Reporter. So go ahead and take a look there, and hope you will find our podcast worthy of your support. Got a few listener feedback items on the Facebook page I'd like to quick mention. There was a comment from our last podcast, number 10, pardon me, from Darren. He said, that was hilarious. He hasn't lulled that bad in months. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Darren. We'll do our best. And Andre is excited to hear us back on the air, because it had been about, what was that, 6-8 weeks, something like that?
It was a long time.
And he says, go Gadget Girl. So I've changed.
Thank you. Waving.
I miss the ever effervescent, but Gadget Go.
I don't.
It's gone now.
It makes me sound like I ingest Alka-Seltzer all the time.
And there was an interesting YouTube post to our page from Halter Hazanka Wars. He talks about PvP roaming Templars. So come on over to the ESO Reporter Facebook site and like it and join us, and go ahead and take a look at that. I think I tossed up one about that was on the Onion about character customization in ESO that I thought was fairly funny. But go ahead and join us, and we'll try to continue to be a little more active there as well. All right, anything else, guys, that you can think of before we say goodnight?
No. Thanks, guys, for listening.
it's all good.
Still listening to us.
All right, you can reach us if you want to contact us, through email, eso@mmoreporter.com. Our Twitter handles or addresses, or whatever you want to call them, at ESO Reporter, or at SvenIM with 2 V's. That's me. At Genara, that's GoGo Gadget Jen, Jenahra, or the chap of Synapse is at Tepotastic. Facebook is facebook.com/ESO Reporter, and who wants to do the voicemail today?
Go ahead, Tep. You can do it this time.
Okay, voicemail is 616-666-6778, or you can use the widget on the right-hand side of MMOReporter.com website.
See you in a couple weeks, everyone. Enjoy your time in Tamriel.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Go to audibletrial.com/MMOReporter to get a 1-month free trial, and you get to keep anything that you download during the free month forever. Just go to audibletrial.com/MMOReporter to sign up. Over 100,000 titles to choose from.